Hello everyone, how are you? Are you sitting comfortably and do you have a nice cup of tea ready for our lesson? So if you don't know me, my name is Anna. This is English Like a Native, and today we are learning some English vocabulary and hopefully some new phrases all around the theme, the topic of bodily functions. So this is an English lesson all about bodily functions. Things that your body sometimes does and you don't want it to, and it's very embarrassing. How do we deal with that? How do we deal with that in English? And how do we Brits behave around that? But also other things that our body does that's not so embarrassing, that's more necessary. So hello if you're joining me. Let me know that you're here, that you are going to stay for a good hour with me here. Tell me where you're watching from. And maybe click the thumb button just to say that you're happy today. The weather here is not very happy, so I put on my orange cardigan, thinking bright colours. Let's all be happy and do this very fun lesson together. So if you're feeling happy, show me the happy thumb and let's all have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon together. Hello in California, Egypt, Venezuela, Italy, Germany. Wow, so many of you jumping in here. Wonderful. I didn't share this lesson with many people, so I was wondering if many people would join, but already we've got 60 of you in. Fantastic. Bonjour in France. Hello in Mexico, Bulgaria. Hello in Poland, Algeria, Vietnam. Fantastic. Manchester, my hometown where I was brought up. Brazil, Myanmar, Kurdistan, in London, fabulous. Ukraine, Ireland, Kazakhstan, lovely. Turkey, wow, so international. Denmark, Azerbaijan, Pakistan, loads of people from Egypt, Morocco, lovely Ireland, Korea, more from France. Fabulous. Hello everyone. I hope you're all feeling well and happy today. I am feeling good. I did have a little accident last night. I fell over and I twisted my ankle. I thought I might have broken it. So I went to the hospital this morning and they did an x-ray on my ankle, but you'll be very happy to know it's not broken. It's just a little bit of ligament damage. So just a very bad twist. Have to rest my feet, rest my ankles, stay off my feet, waiting for that to heal. But otherwise, I'm feeling fabulous. I've got my nice cup of tea. So, shall we start? Bodily functions. I'm sure all of us have had a moment of embarrassment when it comes to bodily functions. But we're going to start with a function that is voluntary and that is necessary. That's not embarrassing at all if you're doing it right. So we're going to talk first of all about the word chew. To chew. Now it's very important to know that CH in English is not sh, but a more explosive sound ch, ch. So the tongue goes up onto the roof of the mouth. We have a little bit of a hiss, but otherwise it's explosive. Ch, ch. So just do that for me now. Chew, chew, chew. We of course need to chew our food properly so that we don't have any digestive issues. So make sure you chew your food properly. Chew your food. If I am chewing right now, we just add ing, chewing, I am chewing. If we're talking about the past, I chewed, or past continuous, I was chewing, I was chewing. Very simple verb. We can also use this word, but we don't hear this very often. This is the technical term, the medical term, as it were, the very technical word for chew. You may hear it occasionally. I've heard it occasionally. More often we use chew, but sometimes you might hear masticate, masticate, masticate. I like to masticate my food properly. To masticate. Yes, Anastasia has said it's like chewing gum. Chewing gum. Yeah, of course. I love to chew chewing gum. And you know, I used to work in a dentist's surgery. I was the receptionist for a dentist. And if you chew gum regularly, it's really good for you because it releases lots of saliva, which is good to help protect your teeth, neutralize acids. So chewing gum is really good for you. So do you chew gum very often? I chew gum all the time. Not when I'm teaching, of course. Pon Dinesh, you're asking what masticate means. Masticate is exactly the same as chew. Masticate equals chew. Exactly the same thing. I am masticating. It's exactly used in exactly the same way. He masticated. I am masticating. I will masticate. She masticates. Used in exactly the same way. Now there's a couple of other words that I've added here that you might hear around the mouth and around eating. You might be told not to slurp. Slurp. See how I did that? Nice open vowel. Slurp. Slurp. To slurp is to do this, which is horrible. Some people find that horrible. It's not polite. In the UK, it's not polite to slurp. So if you're with friends or guests having a drink, try not to slurp if you can help it. As children, we're always told, stop slurping, don't slurp your drink, it's very rude. The other one that I've mentioned is smack your lips. So to smack lips is to do this. So if I'm eating, I'm not only eating with my mouth open, which is also very rude, but I'm smacking my lips. I'm making that smacking sound, which here in Britain is not very polite. So don't smack your lips. Don't smack your lips. It's very rude. Do not slurp your drink. Do not slurp your drink. You might even slurp spaghetti. So if you have a string of spaghetti in your mouth and you're slurping it in, you have to be very, very careful with that. So you have to try and make the sound quiet and do rather than a rude noise. Mustafa says, I often slurp coffee. I often slurp my tea if I'm on my own, if it's very hot, because it helps to cool it down. Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of the things I'm going to mention as not being very polite it's going to be the same in your country. But you never know. You never know. So, chew, masticate, slurp, and smack your lips. Now, there's a few things I wanted to talk to you about the word chew. So I mentioned don't chew with your mouth open. We use that phrase very often. Do not chew with your mouth open. I don't want to see your food. We also use chew in a number of phrases, idioms. So you might hear someone say, he chewed my ear off. He chewed my ear off. I need to chew your ear off. This means I need to talk to you. So I have something I want to talk about. And it's usually that if I need to chew your ear off, it's usually that I need to do a lot of talking. So I'm going la 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 la. So to chew someone's ear off is to talk to them a lot about something. So if you said to me, my friend last night chewed my ear off, I will understand that as your friend talked a lot and you found it too much. she chewed my ear off. Okay, so to chew your ear off, somebody's ear off. Those of you asking how long this lesson will be, I'm aiming for 1 hour. It might be a little longer, but 1 hour. Another idiom, by the way, to chew someone's ear off is very different to bite someone's head off. Bite someone's head off. To chew, I'm going to draw an ear here. So this is an ear. Chew ear off is different to bite someone's head. Hello. Bite someone's head off. So chew someone's ear off is different to bite someone's head off. Chew someone's ear off, you talk at them. Rah, rah, rah. Bite someone's head off, you shout at them. Unexpectedly, you just suddenly burst into a rage and you shout at them. You bite their head off. Great. Okay, so to chew someone's head off and to bite someone's head off, know the difference because they're have very different meanings. Okay, dokie. Another idiom that you might hear is to, let's get it in blue, to chew the cud. To chew the cud. Writing sideways isn't my forte. To chew the cud. So this means cud is like grass. It's like what the cows eat. And when you see a cow eating, they stand there for hours going moo. So to chew the cud means to think something over. So to have time in your own mind to think something over. I'm just chewing the cud. What are you doing? Just chewing the cud. I'm just thinking about something. Okay. What else do we have? Oh, chew the cud. You also might hear this as, well, let me write this one down because it's very similar. Chew the cud is the same as chew over. Chew over. Or you might hear this said as mull over. To chew it over or to mull it over. Let me chew it over for a little while. Let me mull it over for a little while. So it just means give me time to think about it. Time to think. You might hear this one regularly. If somebody takes on a job that's too much for them, it might be said that they have bitten off more than they can chew. More than. Bite off more than you can chew. It means that whatever you've decided to do is too much. Too much. Bite off more than you can chew. I think you have bitten off more than you can chew. Last night, when I was doing my exercises, I had obviously bitten off more than I could chew because I had an accident. I had bitten off more than I could chew. It was too much for me to handle. To bite off more than you can chew. We use that phrase often. And finally, for chew, you might hear people talking about chewing the fat. Chewing the fat. To chew the fat means just to gossip. So if me and my friends get together and we just sit there for hours talking, we're chewing the fat. Do you think, trying to think of a different way to put it. We chewed the fat all night. We gossiped all night. I imagine we will chew the fat all night tomorrow night as well. We'll chew the fat. Okay. Okay, so to chew the fat. So that was chew. Do you have similar idioms in your own language for that relative verb? Yes, that's right. Chewing the fat is gossiping. Gossiping. So sticking with the mouth for a little while, I'm going to go on to a very fun word. And this actually has two spellings that I discovered. And one of them is apparently more commonly used in the UK, but I disagree from my own experience. How do we spell this? Hiccup. So the word is hiccup. Hiccup. Now the two different spellings, it looks like hiccup and hiccough, but actually they both have exactly the same pronunciation, exactly the same meaning. It's two words for the same thing. Hiccup. Hiccup. And this is don't you hate it when you get the hiccups? When you get the hiccups. I regularly get the hiccups. There are certain things that I know will give me the hiccups. So notice that I'm always saying the hiccups. I hiccuped, but I have the hiccups. She has the hiccups. I have the hiccups. I don't want to drink that. It will give me the hiccups. Okay? Now, for hiccuping, I love that word. Say that for me. Hiccuping, 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 hiccuping. For hiccuping, if I eat bread too quickly, I will get the hiccups. If I eat raw mushrooms, how bizarre is this? If I eat raw mushrooms, I get the hiccups. Isn't it bizarre? Is there anything that you have that sets you off? Is there anything that you drink or eat that sets you off with the hiccups? Now, I did say that one of these is used more often in the UK. The dictionary will tell you that this is the more common spelling in the UK. And this is more American. But in my experience, and for those of you who don't know, I am English. I was born and raised in England. In my experience as a native, I have only ever come across this spelling of the word. Not that I see it written down often, but this is how I would spell it. When I saw this, I was confused. But it's good to know both of them. So, hiccups. One thing to be mindful of with the hiccups is if I say, sorry, there was a slight hiccup on my way to come and see you, that's why I'm late. There was a slight hiccup in my journey. I don't mean that I had this bodily function. To say there was a slight hiccup, it means there was a slight problem. There was a slight unexpected obstacle, unexpected problem that just occurred. It was a little hiccup, but it's fine now. So I had a little hiccup on the way here. Doesn't mean this. Everyone's giving advice on how to deal with the hiccups. Yes, Kim, raw mushrooms cause hiccups for me. Sanar says, hold your breath and count to 30. It works. I've tried. I mean, I do hold my breath, but I find the best thing is just to try to relax and stop eating mushrooms. Cook them. Eat cooked mushrooms instead. Some say drink cold water. Interesting. Larissa says, if I drink water too quickly, I get the hiccups. I get the hiccups. Okay. Yes, hiccuping can be unpleasant. It can hurt. I find it can hurt the stomach sometimes. if I hiccup for too long. Do you know, there was a man I read about that had the hiccups for years. He had the hiccups for years. Can you imagine? Hiccuping constantly for years. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Can you make another sentence by using hiccup? Well, only the ones I've mentioned really. I had a little hiccup. I had a little problem. I have the hiccups. If someone hiccups in my face, I might say, don't hiccup at me. Okay. Oh, interesting. Mustafa said, what does guzzle mean? Guzzle. That's a great word. Guzzle. Spelled like this. Just pronounce that for me. Guzzle. Dark L. Guzzle. 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 Guzzle is when you imagine I have a bottle of water and I'm thirsty and I go gut, 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 and I drink it really quickly. I'm guzzling. Guzzling. So if I drank this tea now really quickly, I'm guzzling it. And your mother or your father might say to you, don't guzzle your drink. You'll get the hiccups. You'll get indigestion or something like that. All right, so we've covered all of this. We've covered this. We've covered this. We've covered that. Okay, so here's a more embarrassing, it can be an embarrassing bodily function. And this is to burp. To burp. So to burp is when you have trapped wind in your tummy and you let it out of your mouth. You do like that. That was a pretend one, by the way. So to burp is to just let air come out of your mouth from the stomach. Usually, if I drank a bottle of fizzy drink, so like Coca-Cola, I might need to burp because of all the gas that is in my tummy. So burping is the act of letting air explode out of your mouth. Okay, so to burp, we can also say to belch. To belch, exactly the same. I'm belching. He belched. She will belch. He will burp. He burps. She belches. Okay. What is the gap between burping and belching? What do you mean by gap? If you're asking about difference, there is no difference. Belching is a little... When I think of a belch, I think of it being a deeper, more disgusting sound. So I think of it when someone really pushes it out and does one of those. I think of that as a belch, a real tummy rumbling burp. A burp can just be a little, excuse me. So a burp can be a little one, whereas a belch, I think because of the sound of the word belch, it sounds like a more guttural sound. So I would never belch. I don't belch. Sometimes I accidentally burp, but I never belch. I don't force it out. So other words for burp, you might just say, if you burp, sometimes you might say, oh, I've got wind. I've got wind. But normally that's related to lower regions. So we tend to use the word burp and sometimes the word belch. If we do burp or belch, this is not really polite behaviour. So if we can't help it and it just happens, then the polite thing to do is to say, pardon me, or excuse me. Pardon me. When I was younger, we learnt this poem around this phrase, pardon me. And the poem or the little song went, Pardon me for being rude. It was not me, it was my food. It just popped up to say hello, and now it's gone back down below. So that's a good way to remember it. Pardon me for being rude. It was not me, it was my food. It just popped up to say hello, and now it's gone back down below. Okay? Cool. So, pardon me, or excuse me. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Excuse me, I've just eaten very fast, had a bit of trapped wind. So in the UK, we should always pardon ourselves if we happen to burp. Obviously, sometimes you can't help it, and sometimes you need to let the gas out, but try to cover your mouth and say, pardon me. Oh, pardon me. But I'm sure you all know this anyway. These are just common courtesy. What are you guys saying? Oh, you like the poem. Wonderful. Some of you are asking, what does nibbling mean compared to chewing? So nibble, to nibble. Nibble, nibble, nibble. To nibble something is to kind of chew on it a little bit at a time. So to take small bites. So a mouse would nibble, whereas a crocodile would just chomp. But a mouse would nibble. So to take very small bites and chew little bits at a time. If we're talking about being affectionate to someone, you might hear people say, he was nibbling on my ear. He was nibbling on my ear. He was kind of kissing and chewing a little bit on my ear, just a bit, you know, in that loving way. So he nibbled my ear, or he was nibbling on my neck. So it's like to be like kind of kissing, biting a little bit is to be nibbling. Quite a nice word, to nibble, to nibble. To nibble on a biscuit. Okay. With regards to burping, I mentioned about having trapped wind. So if you have gas in your tummy, or maybe a little further down, so in your stomach, you can feel gas. You want to burp, but it's not happening naturally, and you can't force it either. You can say, oh, I've got trapped wind. The gas is trapped in my tummy and it's making me uncomfortable. I have trapped wind. Trapped wind. Hopefully none of you have trapped wind. Callie says, don't forget nibs of chocolate. Yeah, so you can remember nibble by thinking about nibs. Nibs are little bits. So you get nibs of chocolate. Also, did you know that the end of a pen, the very, very end of the pen, is called the nib? The nib. Not many people know that. So there you go. You've learnt something that even a lot of natives don't know. The nib of a pen. N-I-B. Nib of a pen. Great. Okay. Oh, it looks like the quality of this image has dropped a little bit. Sorry about that. Nothing I can do. I hope you don't mind. If you are here for the first time, guys, while we're just taking a little moment, can I quickly just say it would be great if you could click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. So the more you help me, the more I will be able to give live videos and do more pre-recorded lessons and stuff on social media. So if you are enjoying what I give to you, then please thumbs up and make sure you press the subscribe button. And if you want to know more often when I'm live, make sure you click the bell next to the subscribe button so that you are notified whenever I'm up. Some of you ask me in advance, I don't know when you're going to be live. Can you tell me a timetable? Because it changes regularly, the best thing to do is to follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, where I'll always try to give at least 12 hours notice. So the links to those pages are in the description of this video, I hope. And on Instagram, I'm also offering free daily pronunciation videos. So you should definitely come and join me on Instagram if you want to improve your speaking. Plus, Instagram is a great place for English learners. I'm following so many English teachers on there and the work they do is spectacular. So go and download Instagram. It's free. It's a fabulous app. Let's talk about, now we're getting to the rude ones very soon, trust me. Within the next 20 minutes, you will know why we find the name Donald Trump so funny. So let's talk about a rumbling stomach. Rumble or growling. Rumble, oh, hang on, do it as the infinitives. Rumble, growl, grumble. I think that's it. Yeah, so these are all words that we can use to describe that sound that our tummy makes, our stomach makes when we are hungry, or when you've eaten something and it's just very noisy as it's digesting. So you might say, my stomach is rumbling. You'll hear this more often. My stomach is rumbling. Rumbling. Or you can say, oh, my stomach's growling. I'm hungry. Obviously, my stomach is growling. Rawr, rawr, feed me. Rawr. Or you can say, my tummy is grumbling. My tummy is grumbling. If a person grumbles, you might hear them say, oh, Mr. Smith was grumbling all day. If a person grumbles, it means they complain. Oh, me back's hurting. Oh, me tea's cold. Oh, nobody loves me. That's grumbling. So a person grumbling is a person complaining quietly. But we can use all these words to describe the noise your tummy makes when you are hungry or when you're digesting. Let's just have a quick look at what you're saying. Oh, some of you are asking about Instagram. Instagram is for phones only. You can see it on a computer, but you can't take part on a computer. So I guess that would be fine, but I think you'd have to set up an Instagram via a phone first. But it's not for my personal experience. Instagram is a fantastic resource for learning English, and I'm there every day posting up material that I don't post anywhere else. And there are lots of other fantastic English teachers doing some great work. So it depends how much you want to integrate English learning into your life. Okay, so Instagram is not popular in Korea. Let's start a movement. Kim, you and me, let's start a movement to make Instagram popular in Korea. Is there anyone else here from Korea? Let's do this. Let's introduce Instagram to Korea. In fact, I've actually just launched, you may or may not know, some of you, I've just launched a competition on Instagram to find some lucky audience members to star in a video with me here, teaching me your language. So I'm going to choose 5 audience members to teach me their language for a video that will come onto this channel. And that's all being done via Instagram. It's very easy, free to enter, and I'll pick the winners by the end of the month. So if you're interested, go over to Instagram and look for the picture of me wearing a red coat with a speech bubble saying, speak my language. Look at that and it'll tell you all about it. La la la. Okay, so yes, we have a few people here from Korea, I think. Lovely. Oh no, only one. Only one. Just you, Kim. Okay, let's carry on. So, rumbling is the abdominal sounds that we hear. If you are tired, then you might... Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Yawn. Yawn. So let's just get this pronunciation right. Y. On. So we don't do yow or yawn. It's yaw. This vowel sound is difficult for many students. Or. The tongue is down. There's a big space inside the mouth and the sound is placed at the back. Or. And the lips don't move. Or. Yaw. Yawn. Yawn. Kim is asking about the difference between the pronunciation of this word and this word. This is yarn, open vowel, R, yawn. Yawn, yarn, yawn, yarn. Okay, so to yawn. If you are yawning, in the UK, it's polite, as I'm sure it's the same in your country, it's polite to cover your mouth. Oh, so sorry. If you're in a presentation or a talk or someone's talking to you and you can't help but yawn, try not to make it audible. So try to just do rather than because making that noise is what we tend to do to say, I'm bored. Oh, boring. That's how we read it anyway. If you try not to yawn, you do this. That's called stifling a yawn, to stifle. Do I know how to spell this? Steiff. Is it two F's? Stifle. To stifle. One F, I think. Is it one F or two F's? Stifle, one F, surely. To stifle a yawn. Yes, I think one F. Oh no, some people think two. You'll have to check. You have to check on Google for me. Not sure about the spelling on that one. But you stifle a yawn. You stifle a yawn. That means you go. You're holding it back. You're holding it back. I knew someone would pick this up. So I previously just said, I can't help but yawn. Can't help but. B-U-T. I can't help but. I can't help but do it. I can't help but yawn. It's quite a complicated phrase, but we do use it regularly. Can't help but. I can't help but. So to stifle. To stifle. What else did I want to say about yawning? Nothing else. If you do get embarrassed, some of you might go red in the face. You might blush. Blush, blush, blush. You might blush. And if I blush, then I am blushing. Oh, I'm blushing. If somebody says something very nice to me, it's happened here sometimes. Someone's, I don't know, sent a super chat, or someone has just really bigged up the channel or said something. I think it's happened a few times and I've just started blushing. It's something you can't control, and for some people it's very embarrassing. Your face just goes red and you're like, oh, I'm blushing. And we tend to hold our cheeks, don't we, to cool our cheeks down, to try and make the blood go away so we're not so red-faced. So blushing and red-faced is the other way you would say it. He went red in the face. To be red-faced. To blush. To blush. To blush can be for men or women. Anybody can blush. And some people find it embarrassing. Some people don't. To blush. Okay, so I don't think there's anything else around that word. Okay, let's start to move on to something that can be a little bit more embarrassing. And that's the subject of sweat. Sweat. To sweat is to release water from your body, to cool your body down. We normally sweat from our armpits. We sweat from our armpits And we can sweat from anywhere. We sweat from our forehead. You have sweaty palms. A lot of people will have sweaty palms. I've got very dirty fingers again from this. Sweaty palms, sweaty armpits, sweaty forehead. These are the typical places you might sweat. But anywhere really, you can sweat anywhere. Another word for this is, as someone quite rightly said, is to perspire. Perspire, or to have perspiration. Perspiration. So sweat obviously can be a problem. It doesn't look great, and sometimes it gets on our clothes. Now, if you are wearing a shirt and you sweat into your armpit area, then you could say, oh, I've got sweat marks, because you have the marks of your sweat. And nobody likes to have sweat marks. So you might say, oh no, do I have sweat marks? Oh no, I've got sweat marks, it's horrible. I need to change my shirt. If the sweat then dries, you might start to smell poo. If you are smelling of sweat, then you may hear the phrase, or the word, sorry, BO. You've got BO. This stands for body odor. Body odor. I can't write this way round. Body odor. You have body odor. Nobody wants body odor. So if you do have body odor, Geek is saying, go take a shower. Callie saying sweat and sweet are not the same thing. That's absolutely right. Sweat is very different to sweet. Sweet is nice and sweet and lovely. Sweat is the water that you perspire, the water that you release from your body. So if you have BO, and we talk about this all the time, somebody's got BO. Do I have BO? Do I smell of BO? No, I don't smell of BO. I smell like roses all the time. If you have BO, then you need to use, well, soap, have a shower. But you should, to help tackle BO, use deodorant. Oh no. Deodorant. Is it deodorant or deodorant? Any good spellers here? Deodorant. Yeah, I was right. Okay, deodorant. Is that right? Oh my God. I've got Geek saying here, oh my God, she don't have BO. No, it should be, OMG, she doesn't have BO. She doesn't, not she don't. She doesn't have BO. No, I don't have BO. The teacher doesn't have BO. Oh, so some of you have to go. If you're going, bye. So you can have antiperspirant. Very good. Antiperspirant is another word for deodorant. Deodorant. And in the UK, we have spray deodorant. And we have roll-on. Roll-on, which is the one that you rub against the skin. Roll-on. Okay. So, also, if you are sweating, you can describe yourself as sweaty. I'm sweaty. I'm really sweaty. I'm so stressed. I'm really sweaty. I don't want to get sweat marks in my outfit. I have to wear this all day and I don't have a spare top. I'm really sweaty. What can I do? Have you got some deodorant? Do you have any roll-on I could use? Oh, not that you'd share roll-on with anyone. Some of you asking about the spelling of odor. Odor. Is there a difference between O-D-O-U-R versus O-D-O-R? I think the other spelling is American. Let's just quickly check. So yes, odor, O-D-O-R, is American. And odor, how I spelt it, which was O-D-O-U-R, is English, British English. Okay. Cool. So you're sweaty. If you are starting to sweat, then you might use the phrase to break a sweat. If you were fine and now you've started sweating, you've just broke a sweat. Or I don't want to run in case I break a sweat. That means to break out, to start, to break out, to break a sweat. He will break a sweat if you tell him the news. He will break a sweat if he starts exercising. You might tell someone, don't break a sweat, it's fine. Don't get all sweaty and stressed, it's fine. Don't sweat it is another one. Stunning lad, 1, thank you. Don't break a sweat. Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. You might also say, to mean no problem, you might also say, no sweat. Hey, no sweat. Don't worry. You can't come to my party that's going to be the best party in the whole world. No sweat. It's fine. Your loss. No sweat. Okay. So to break a sweat and no sweat. Okay. How much time have we got? We've been on 45 minutes. That's not too bad. Do I have any newbies here? Is there anyone here who's never been on this channel before and never seen any of these lessons before? If you are new, let me know. I'll give you a bit of a shout out. And while I'm waiting for people to respond to that question, we'll go into the next one, which is to sneeze. To sneeze. So to sneeze is to do achoo. Ooh. Does anyone have a tissue? Do you have a tissue? Achoo. Sorry, do you have a tissue? So to sneeze, you normally sneeze when you are unwell or if you have an allergy. If something goes up your nose that tickles your nose, then you might sneeze. So just look at the pronunciation for that. Sneeze. And make sure we're getting that Z on the end. Sneeze. And quite rightly said, if someone sneezes, then you should say to them, oh, bless you. Bless you. So that is our response. Even if you don't know people, maybe you're on the bus or a train, if you sneeze, someone might say, bless you. And you say, thank you. Okay, let's see. Newbies, where are you? So I've got Hasham. Hasham, hi, welcome. 4 degrees of the scale. Are you new to this channel? Because I know you're on Verba, my other channel, and I know you're on Anna's Big Adventure, because I saw you on the live chat yesterday. So, but welcome. Great for you to be here. Gatto124, welcome. Who else do I have? Haroon, hi. Anna, yes, great name, Anna. Love your name. Hakim, I'm new here. Thank you for joining me. I've got Horn Vanarong. Hi, welcome. Quite a few of you. If I've missed anyone out, I've got Dave. Hi, Dave. How are you? If I've missed you out, I am sorry. There's quite a few messages here to go through. But if you are new, welcome. And before you go, please do press the big red subscribe button and come and join me for many lessons in the future. Plus, I have over 100 videos that are already on this channel, so do check them out. I'm sure you'll find something that will interest you and be useful. Okay, so sneezing, bless you. That's all we need to say. Oh, apart from, sometimes you'll hear people say, it's not to be sneezed at. That's not to be sneezed at, or to be sneezed at. To be sneezed at is to treat something like it's unimportant. I wouldn't sneeze at it. I wouldn't treat it like it's unimportant. It's not to be sneezed at. It's not to be considered unimportant. I don't hear it very often, but on occasion. Bob says, such posh, much. I know what you're saying. The sentence isn't quite right. You'd say so posh. You're talking about my accent, I'm assuming. So posh. So posh. Not such posh. They don't go together. So we're very close. We're very close to the end. You also have this word. If you're not well, or if something goes down your windpipe into your chest, you might cough. To cough. It looks completely different to how it sounds. We have an F. Cough, 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 cough. No, I don't think you're dumb. I don't think anyone's dumb. Well, I'm dumb. I spell things wrong all the time, and this is my own language, so I don't think anyone's dumb. Don't think that of me. Cough, cough. If you start coughing, or if you have a coughing fit, is to be for a very long time, you say, oh, I just had a coughing fit. If you have a coughing fit, then you might say, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Could I have some water? Or something like that. But you can't help coughing as long as you cover your mouth. And this is so important. If you cough on like the tube, it happens a lot. People on the tube in London will cough with their mouths wide open without covering their mouth. So they'll just be on the tube and you're this close to them and just go, it's horrid. It's like, I don't want your germs. So I don't know what the culture is in your country, but I think for everyone's well-being, we should all learn to cover our mouths when we cough. I'm sure everyone here does. Oh, yeah, so Stunning Lad says, coughing my guts out. You'd say coughing my guts up. I'm coughing my guts up. So to have a coughing fit, you can also say, I'm coughing my guts up. Coughing my guts up. The tube is the underground. For those of you who don't know, the tube, I talk about the tube, I mean the underground. In London, we all refer to it as the tube. I'm going to catch the tube. I'm on the tube. So coughing, coughing, coughing. You might also say coughing your head off. Coughing your head off, as if you've coughed so hard your head will fall off. So to cough, have a coughing fit, cough your guts up, and what did I say? Cough your head off. Cough your head off. I know a little poem that goes, it wasn't the cough that carried him off, it was the coffin they carried him off in. It's a little bit like nonsense, but it's good for pronunciation. It wasn't the cough that carried him off, but the coffin, the place, the box they put you in when you're dead, the coffin they carry you off in. It wasn't the cough that carried them off, but the coffin they carried him off in. Cool. Enough of that. Oh, apart from cough it up. Cough it up. This one's important. To cough it up might be that you've got something stuck and you're coughing, and I might say, cough it up then. Cough it up. But if someone says cough it up, they might, highly likely, might mean pay your debt. So cough up. So cough it up is to get something off your chest, but to cough up is to pay your debt. So you owe me money, I see you, and I say, hey, you, cough up. Give me the money. Cough up. Stunning Lad says, cough up, governor. As if it's a Cockney phrase. Everybody uses it, cough up. I need him to cough up. I need him to pay me Give me some money. Cough up. Show me the money. All right, so we've had sneezing, coughing. We also, when we're talking about the face and things that happen, we also might cry. Cry. She's crying. Other words for cry are to be teary. To be teary, to have tears, to be teary. Can everybody see me all right, by the way? Is this picture okay? Because for me it looks quite pixelated. I'm hoping I should be streaming at a reasonably high level, but let me know. Let me know. Not that I can change it. So you can be teary. You can weep. So to weep, she was weeping. You might say that she was weepy. If she was teary, she was weepy. She wept, past of this, wept. She wept yesterday. Sob. To weep and to sob are to cry a lot. To weep and to sob is to cry a lot. Howl. So you might, howling obviously is the noise that some animals make, howl, like a wolf or a dog, to howl. But if you say a person is howling, meaning crying, it means that they're crying loudly. She's howling. She's weeping, sobbing, howling. And some very interesting... Oh, my pen smells so bad. Some very interesting phrases that we use are don't cry wolf. Don't cry wolf. Crying for. Crying out loud. For crying out loud. And don't. I'll tell you the next one. So you've got don't cry wolf. Don't cry wolf. This means don't fake it. Like the little boy who cried wolf. Do you know the story? The little boy who cried wolf. It's a fable, a story that teaches us a lesson we learn as a child. Don't cry wolf. There's a boy who is looking after the sheep. He's being a shepherd. He's looking after the sheep, making sure the wolf doesn't get the sheep. And he doesn't like it, or he wants to have a bit of fun. So he pretends that there is a wolf. So he goes to the townspeople, he goes, wolf, wolf, wolf. And everyone comes out and they all try to find a wolf and there's no wolf and they go back to bed. And the next day he goes, wolf, 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 just for fun. And the townspeople get up and they find that he's lying again. And on the third night he does it again because there actually is a wolf. Nobody gets up because they don't believe him because he cried wolf before. And now I can't remember how the story ends, but I'm guessing he gets eaten by the wolf and is never found again. So people will regularly use this phrase, don't cry wolf, don't lie. And also you will regularly hear, for crying out loud. Oh, for crying out loud. This is an expression of frustration. In the same way, when we talked about religion, if you haven't seen that lesson, by the way, even if you're religious or not, it would be helpful. But we use a lot of expressions for high emotional feelings. So sometimes it's hard to explain. So we use a lot of expressions around our emotional state. Just like we say, for God's sake, or, oh my God. For God's sake is the same as for crying out loud. It's an expression that we would use if we are frustrated or annoyed with someone. So we'd say, for crying out loud, why haven't you done what I've told you to do? For crying out loud, why didn't you bring your coat? I told you it was going to rain. Okay. So also, finally, on cry, you might hear someone saying, don't come crying to me. Don't come crying to me. Don't come crying to me. That means don't, I've warned you about something, and if it goes wrong, I've told you so. So don't come and tell me, oh, it went wrong, because I told you. So don't come crying to me when it all goes wrong. I've heard that many times. All right, so let's now talk about the word trump. The word trump. Obviously, this word is everywhere at the moment. It has been for a little while. So trump. Trump is a funny word for us. And here is why. For us, trump is a regularly used term, particularly with younger people, but everybody knows it, everybody uses it. Trump to us means flatulence. Flatulence. I don't know if you knew this. If you didn't know this, then say, I didn't know. Trump means flatulence. Flatulence. Which means fart. So to trump is the same as to fart, to let air, to let gas explode from your bottom, from your bum. So when you do, you are trumping, you are trumping, you are farting. So to trump is to fart. So when we in the UK heard that the new president of the United States was going to be Donald Trump, for us it was quite funny because Trump means fart. Some of you did know that. Anyway, just so you know, trump and fart can be used in exactly the same way. He trumps, he farts. She is trumping, she is farting. I might trump, I will fart. But flatulence is slightly different. I have flatulence. If you're going to say to, then you'd say to be flatulent. To be flatulent. I am quite flatulent today. Flatulent. Do you know, every lesson someone mentions my mug. Someone's just said, a posh mug. I love my mug. And I know lots of you love my mug too. So, yes, my mug. Let's hope that I never break it when I'm washing up. I did break something washing up recently. I was so pleased it wasn't my mug. Okay, so... So to trump, to be flatulent, to fart. You can also say to drop one. So if someone has trumped, then I might say, who's dropped one? Did you drop one? Imagining like the trump or the fart is a bomb that you've dropped and it's exploded and the smell is emanating out. To drop one. To drop one. Oh no, I just dropped one. It's gonna stink. I hope you didn't just drop one. You can also say make a smell. Did you make a smell? Or I might have just made a smell. I'm sorry. If you do have this problem, sometimes it can't be helped. If you do trump, or if you're flatulent, if you fart or drop one or you make a smell, then you would simply, obviously you probably blush, but you'd say, excuse me, I'm so sorry, pardon me, didn't mean to trump there, couldn't help it. Oh, just rest my arm for a minute. Okay, so what are you guys saying? In a crowded elevator. There's nothing worse than dropping one in a crowded elevator. To break wind, there is another way you can say it, to break wind. Good, thank you for bringing that up. You guys are great. We learn together as one big community. If you do find these lessons helpful, guys, then the bigger the audience, the better. So if you think you have any friends or people who would find this helpful, if you're an English teacher yourself, then feel free to share these with your students, because I think it's really helpful to learn together. So feel free to share this. To be leaking gas, yeah, you could say I'm quite gassy. Gassy, we tend to talk about being burps, but obviously it's gas that comes out both sides. Just blame it on the dog. Yes, I don't have a dog, so it would be weird if I blame it on the dog. Like, oh, the dog must have run away. I don't know where the dog is. How often do you air? Are you still talking about farting, or are you talking about going on air, broadcasting live? Let me know. For some of you, now is very late. I'm very sorry. I have people all over the world, so these lesson times sometimes change a little bit, but I can't be at the right time for everybody. So sorry about that. I hope I'm not keeping you up. We are nearly finished. Oh my God, there's a spider on your shoulder. No, there isn't. No, that isn't. Don't make jokes. What time are you how often do you broadcast? Around 3 times a week, but things are going to change, and I'll tell you about that in a little while. We are going to finish up really soon. Stunning Lad has mentioned guffed. Guffed is another word for trump or fart, and that can be used in the same way. Guffed. I don't hear it that often though. What are those bottles behind me? There's a mixture. There's a mixture of port, Coke, lemonade, lots of gin, wine. It's not mine. My house. This is not my house. This is where I live. I rent a room here. They're my housemates' bottles. Where is the buttons up here to give you 1 million likes and subscribe? Anna, please, where is the buttons up here? I don't know what that means, but yeah, I'd love hundreds of millions of subscribers and likes. That'd be great. I mean, if you're here and you haven't pressed like, please do press like. If you've ever accidentally farted or trumped, then press the like. I think we all have. We've all trumped at some point, and sometimes it happens when you don't expect it, and you're like, oh no. Especially if it's a smelly one. It's terrible. Okay, the last 2 that we're going to talk about are, obviously, we have to cover it, bodily functions when we go to the toilet. When we go to the toilet, we might have, firstly, we might have a wee, or secondly, we might have a poo. A wee or a poo. So when we're talking to children, we tend to say wee wee or poo poo, but wee and poo are the words we tend to use with younger people. And these kind of stick. I still say wee and I still say poo if I'm ever talking to someone about toileting. So wee and poo are commonly used. I've numbered them because we also commonly say a number 1 and a number 2. So if you want to be more polite, and I mean, I still wouldn't talk about this stuff in a formal environment, but it's more polite to say, I need a number 1. I have to go for a number 1. Is there a bathroom? Or, oh no, I really need a number 2 and there's no toilet paper. Do you have any tissue? Okay, so a number 1 and a number 2. Cool, so a wee and a poo. Obviously, technical term for this is to urinate. To urinate. To urinate. And to, I think the technical term for this, defecate. How do we spell this? Defecate. To urinate and defecate. Urinate and defecate. So wee, poo, number 1 and number 2. Sometimes this is also called having a little tinkle. I was having a little tinkle. More often, if we need to use the toilet, we'll just say, I need the little girl's room or I need the little boy's room. Can you tell me where the bathroom is, please? We never say WC in the UK. someone asked you where a WC is, I mean, we'd know what you mean, but it's just not, it's a bit odd. It's not familiar. We say bathroom, toilet, and loo. Where is the loo, please? I need to use the loo. Okay. Some of you have said spend a penny. Yes, spending a penny is to have a number one, because you used to have to pay a penny to get into a public toilet. So to spend a penny, I need to spend a penny. WC is water closet, I think it stands for. I wouldn't be surprised if that's an American word, American phrase, a water closet, a WC, but you'll see WC in most countries. I see it a lot, WC. We just never say WC or water closet. We never say restroom either. We know what it means, but that's more American. The John is very American. Oh, Callie says WC is not American. Okay. Well, we have it written here, but we never say it. To go for a slash. Slash is a slang term. You would never, well, you wouldn't hear any nice people say go for a slash. I mean, not girls anyway. Guys might say it more often than girls, and it's quite slangy, it's quite crude to go for a slash. Lavatory, we do use here. It's a little bit old-fashioned. Washroom, yes, we use that. Stunning lad, the piss house. No, we never say that. I've never heard that ever, ever, ever. Bob is saying sexist. No, I don't think so. It's just that slash is used mostly by guys. It's just what I've heard. And I don't think I've ever heard a girl saying I'm going for a slash. I've heard lots of guys saying it, but not girls. Water closet, not water close. Water closet is what WC stands for. Yes, lots of times we say, I need to go. I need to go. I need to go. Obviously, it depends on the way it's delivered as to whether it means they need to leave or they need to go to the toilet. So, but if I'm holding myself going, I need to go, and I'm dancing around, I need to go, it's obvious that I need to go to the bathroom and have a wee, have a number one. Okay, so that covers it. So now when you hear the word Trump, you know what it means to us. Now when someone tells you they need to have a number two, you know exactly what they want. And hopefully you've learned some new idioms. If you have learned something new, then tell me, say you found something new. You found something new. Just let me know in the comments that you found something new during this lesson. You learned something new. That would be great. If you're just arriving now and you've missed most of this lesson, then don't worry, because you will be able to go back and watch what we've covered. I think we've covered a lot today, which is great. Great lesson, loved your lesson. Thank you so much, guys, that's really kind. Great, so you have learned some new things, that's great. As long as I've given you something, and it's been useful, then I'm really happy about that. Bob says, I was joking about the sexist thing, don't hate me please. I don't hate you, I don't hate any of you, how could I, you're all so wonderful. But is mug the same as cup? Mug is not the same as cup. This is a mug because it doesn't have a saucer. So a cup is the kind of cup that goes with a saucer, but we do actually use also them interchangeably. So this could be a mug or a cup, but a cup that comes with a saucer could not be a mug. So a cup and a saucer is definitely a cup, but this is a mug and a cup, if that makes sense. It's quite confusing. I don't understand English myself. I think it's a very confusing language. Bob says, mug can be an insult. Yes, it can. You can call someone a mug. Someone who's stupid, who's naive, you're a mug. Someone has mugged you off. But we'll talk about that in another lesson. What is the correct word when a person, lots of people, a person wheeze too much? I'd say they have a urine infection. They need to see the doctor. They have an overactive bladder. If someone wheezes too much, they have an overactive bladder. One of you, I can't remember how to, I know I pronounced your name wrong, Jana. You've asked about snoring. Yes, of course, snoring I didn't mention. When we sleep and we make noise, that is called snoring. Snoring. You can say I snore, I don't snore. Do you snore? I think sometimes I snore if I've had some alcohol. I don't drink very often, but if I do, sometimes I think I occasionally snore, but generally I sleep silently. Although I sleep talk sometimes, apparently. I used to have a recorder that would record my sleep patterns, and you can play back in the morning any sound that it's recorded. So it spikes when you talk or snore. And sometimes I talk. I'm probably teaching English in my sleep. Someone's asking, we and P, are they different? No, it's the same thing. To we, W-E-E, and to P, P-E-E, is exactly the same. I need to pee. I need to wee. Oh my God, you talk while you sleep. Yes, I talk. Only sometimes when I'm very, very, very tired. And only a little bit, I think. Okay, some of you have got to go. If you're going, then thank you so much, guys. Please do make sure you've pressed the like button, and I will see you again soon. In fact, I'll probably wrap up now. So just so you know, from now I'm going to be doing the weekly patron-only live broadcasts. This is so that I can give my patrons that extra special treatment. So my patrons are the people who help to support this channel, and in turn they help to support you guys as well, because without my patrons I literally could not do this on a full-time basis. I mean, I'm struggling as it is, but my patrons give me hope and give me that extra little bit of support to buy my food and to help keep a roof over my head. So on Friday this week I'm doing my patron-only live lesson. These lessons will later then be available to everybody, but only the patrons will be able to see me live and to interact with me, which is great for them because it means that as there's only a handful of them, it means that I see all their comments and respond to everything they say. So if you would like to get involved with that live lesson, you can do. I'm doing one every week, so you're getting 4 hours worth of live broadcasts as well as lots of other awards. My patrons get things like Skype calls, WhatsApp group acceptance. Some of them can join my pronunciation course, and they get shout outs and lots of different things and access to all my videos early. So if you do want to become a patron, you can become a patron for even $1 a month and you get access to lots of other things, mainly the live lessons and early access to the videos. So, and also I've made an announcement today to my patrons. There's something extra special I'm doing for them as well. So if you're interested in becoming a patron, you don't have to be, but if you're interested in giving this community some extra support, then the link for the Patreon campaign is in the description of this video. So if you just look where it says become a patron, you can check that out, check out the rewards and decide if you are able to support or not. Any support is so much appreciated, but if you can't support, then all I ask is that you click the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any friends that would be interested, please share, and let's grow this community and teach the world English. Let's teach the world about Trump and burp and sleep talking and taking a number one. This stuff is really important. If I'm not going to teach you, who is? Well, there's lots of people really, but if you enjoy learning with me, then I'm glad to have you. Okay, guys, thanks very much. You've all been wonderful. I'm really pleased at the behavior in this class nowadays. There seems to be no trolls, so thank you to my moderators. You guys are invaluable. And that's all for today. Don't forget to join me on Instagram. All the links for everything is in the description box below. And also, there's something called Audible. I'm listening to Audible at the moment. Audible is this great thing on Amazon where you can listen to books. So if you're really into learning English on a regular basis, audiobooks are fantastic. They're a really great way to do this. And I found a link for a free trial, so you can get a 30-day free trial. And then once you're on the free trial, you can download, some books are free. So you can download some really great books for free with the Audible trial. And then when you come to the end of the trial, just cancel it if you don't want it. But that's what I've done. So I'm on the 30-day free trial. I'm listening to some really great classic books and I think it's fantastic. So there's a link for that in the description box below as well. All right, I'm going to go. Mwah, mwah. Thank you guys for all your support. You're saying some lovely things. Okay, give us a princess wave. Like that? Okay, guys, lots of love. Take care. Have a lovely day.